standing at Avoca. Oh, it's such a beautiful place.
He said it was the most obnoxious hill.
The land has been scarred before, but the oceans remain unpaved. Adelaide in her ocean grave, a shipwreck without a storm. A sunken ship won't help us pay for the oceans we can't restore.
Whatever the result is, we all will be living here in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. And as a community, we all must live together harmoniously and respect the fact that if people have differing opinions from ours, while it may frustrate us, it is their right to have those opinions, and it is their right for them to speak clearly and plainly.
There's a committee of 32 involved in the No Ship Action Group. As you will see throughout this talk, we gradually lost all faith in state government's ability to run this project properly. Just to remind you all, the New South Wales Labor Minister for Lands and Planning, Mr Tony Kelly, who said on ABC television program Stateline in March this year, the Adelaide is the first, as the Navy put it, the first environmental ship. It was painted with different paints. There were no PCBs in the paints and no lead.
It was painted with different paints. There were no PCBs in the paints and no lead.
Ironclad assurances from the state government. They told us the ship was clean. They told us we were making a fuss. They accused us of scaremongering. They told us we had our facts wrong, but we didn't. We were right, and the facts were brought out at the Ministry of Appeals Tribunal hearing. We flew out one witness, a marine engineer from the US. The witness we flew out from the US was Mr Werner Hoyt. He's a marine engineer and ship recycling consultant. Mr Hoyt was the man who walked onto the ex-HMAS Adelaide on the Monday afternoon, the first day of the hearing, and discovered the red lead paint. He found it as soon as he walked on the ship. He calculated the red lead paint covered more than 20,000 square metres of the ship's interior. This figure was agreed to by the government experts. Before the tribunal began, not one government expert saw this red lead paint, we were told. Not one of them. It's red, orange colour. It's very, very obvious. Once this paint flakes off and washes up on the beach, all it takes is one child sitting on the sand to eat one flake of paint, and they have a very good chance of getting lead poisoning. If the ship goes down to the bottom of this bay, it will stay there. If heavy metals in this sediment rise above acceptable guidelines, then there's nothing that can be done to remediate the situation. This was said in the court. It was stated. Remediation is impossible. All we say to you is, if we don't stand up and do anything for it, who will be liable and accountable if the lead levels do rise in the sediment around the ship? Who will be responsible if our beach erodes? And who will be responsible if one child gets lead poisoning by eating lead paint, a lead-based paint flake on this beach? Thank you very much.
Our next speaker, Ben Smith. Ben is a surfer. I believe he also shapes his own surfboards. He has his own surfboard label, and while at university doing his science degree, majored in oceanography.
The issue of beach erosion is real. The proposed scuttling of the ex-HMAS Adelaide in its current location could change the shape and face of Avoca Beach as we know it.
So Ben, naively, I would think that this ship is like a breakwater. Maybe it's in fact going to protect the beach, not erode it.
Well, see, the problem is the problem of wave refraction.
What's
now,
that?
Wave refraction is basically the way a wave is bent or changed in shape as it moves over an object.
Such as this ship.
Such as a ship. So just imagine this is the Adelaide here. Okay, this can be an island or a subsurface structure. Yeah. A wave will come across the top, right? And because it's interacting with the ship, it'll bend. You can see how it bends around. You get basically the full force of two waves magnifying at this point C, which in this case is pretty close to the beach, or if not on the beach itself. And that lies the problem, especially here at Avoca during a big nor'easter swell. Okay, you're going to get wave focusing due to storm surf surge, and that's going to occur at a point somewhere just south of the lagoon.
So the energy focusing hits where that circle is, pretty much.
Within this area here, yeah.
Which is exactly the opening to the lagoon, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting point.
It looked to me like that would create a permanent channel from the lake to the ocean and basically would isolate or have a division between north of Oakland and Oakland. People couldn't walk along the beach anymore. Is that the case?
The key point to understand is that not enough study has been done. Okay, the latest report from Associate Professor Ian Goodwin, one of the leading coastal geoscientists here on the east coast of Australia, has determined that the Worley Parsons report...
That's their report.
That's the government's report, which basically determines that there will be no significant change to the shoreline of Oakland Beach. It can't be relied upon.
Why is that?
The data is incomplete. They use data from a wave rider buoy located off Sydney's northern beaches, and that's 35 kilometres away.
What's a wave rider buoy?
It's a buoy that basically sits on top of the water and measures the swell height as the waves pass through it or pass over it. Now, they should have used one of these wave rider buoys located right within Balbring Bay itself.
That's
so you can get
our
some
bay.
in situ measurements of what's going to happen.
How complex and costly would it be to do a proper study?
Well, I can't put a cost on it, but what I can say is this, that Ian Goodwin is about to do all these near-shore wave studies using wave rider buoys situated close to the shore at the 10-12 metre depth contour at Terrigal and Wamberal and at various other places along the New South Wales coast. Now, I can say that if the state government or the Worley Parsons had this data that he is about to collect, it would make a big difference in determining the accuracy of the results of whether beach erosion is going to occur or not.
So friends, bring a formal end to this meeting. What I'd also like to propose, if you want to keep discussing these issues, please do, please stay. If you want to sign the petition, please go and see the team over there.
So apart from the petition, what else should we do then, do you think?
Well, people should write to their local politicians if they're worried about the ship, and write to your local media, let them know about your concerns. You know, most parents and families in the area do have some concerns about a warship so close to a beach where their children are swimming. So yeah, get in touch with the media and politicians and come along to our next meeting. You can check out our website, noship.com.au, and that'll have all the details.
Terrific.
It's out of sight, it's out of mind. I stepped from the darkness and the fish I laid in her ocean grave, a shipwreck without a storm. Sunk your ship won't help us pay for the oceans we can't restore.